All right, how about Anthony Richardson and the Indianapolis Colts finding a way to beat the New York Jets? And really, Richardson getting benched, now being able to play again. I was very interested in how he was going to play in this one. I'm not sure I would call this a perfect game from him. In fact, there definitely are some growing pains, some things he's going to have to work on. There just are, but at the same time, hey, those growing pains feel a lot nicer when they happen in a win, and I don't know if this win would have happened if Flacco was out there. So yeah, let's talk about it all, the good and the bad of Anthony Richardson in this game. Let's start off with this play. The game started off with a few what I would call near misses. Like, he didn't put it in the right spot, but also these aren't, some of the throws we've seen where, like, it's just uncatchable. These were catchable misses, I guess is maybe the way that I can call it. This play, I believe, is a man coverage play by the Jets. I'm not exactly sure. It is going to be a pretty heavy blitz, and the reason I'm not exactly sure is because they're not exactly sure what they're doing here. Watch as when Richardson takes the snap, he looks up and sees he has Josh Downs wide open. This is just a blown coverage by the Jets. Whatever it was supposed to be, they're not doing it right. They blow the coverage, and now there's a player wide open. Okay, so this is a way to get a big chunk play. This one is a bit high. Downs is able to make the great catch. Definitely not where you would have wanted Richardson to put that ball. And in fairness, maybe he didn't know it was going to get quite that open, although he did see the blown coverage before he threw it there. So, again, hey, you got the completion. You could easily sit here and say, results are results. It's a big completion. At the same time, you would like to see that throw be a little bit better because it would have been great to lead Downs in a way where he can make a catch. Who knows? Maybe he makes a safety miss and then gets a touchdown out of it. This next play on a 3rd down and 4, what's going to happen is that it's going to be a designed rollout towards the top of the screen. The tight end is really the route you're going to look towards. I think there also might be a rushing option on this play. Here, though, tight end is open, rushing option is not, so he flips it to the tight end. And again, it could have been caught for sure. Tight end gets a hand on it, but also was not exactly where Richardson wanted it. It was a bit high and made it a little bit tougher. So, again, catchable misses here. This one as well, it's just a halfback screen, so these are, this not a difficult play, you wouldn't think. This is usually you look at it as a play where most quarterbacks are going to make these throws 99 out of 100 times. Here, Richardson takes the snap, and in fairness, this one's a little bit tougher than your typical screen is. He does have pressure right in his face, so kind of makes some sense, and usually you do want to lob this one a little bit higher. But here he lobs it too much. Jonathan Taylor makes an incredible play. I mean, somehow turns that into a positive gain. But again, that was a little bit more difficult than you would have liked to see it. So, okay, these plays were happening. This is something we have to talk about. But then I thought he had a really nice stretch almost immediately after that. This one, for example, where it's a 1st down and 10 right here. It's zone coverage. And again, you're seeing a lot of pressure on these plays because that's kind of the book on Richardson. He's really struggled against the blitz here. This isn't a man blitz, but it is a zone blitz. Richardson takes a snap. This time it's picked up well by the Jets. So, okay, Richardson usually struggles against the blitz, but here you haven't really helped yourself out much because you didn't get any extra pressure. Now you just have one less guy in coverage. One issue with Richardson is he did read that there is pressure, and he wants to get rid of this ball a little bit quicker than maybe he would have liked. He wants to get rid of it really right now. You see, he does kind of throw it a bit awkwardly, like his feet placement isn't ideal, but he makes a perfectly accurate throw, so who cares, right? And this is kind of what drives you crazy about Richardson, is he's capable of making these really impressive throws. I mean, that's an impressive throw right there. This one's another one. This one's a really impressive play. It's a 3rd down and 4. You see, this is Adonai Mitchell, the rookie. You see where he's running. Going to be a route going from the offense's right to the offense's left against man coverage. Not a blitz this time by the Jets. And when Richardson takes the snap, I mean, this play design, is it working? I mean, a little. Again, this is Sauce Gardner in coverage. It's certainly not wide open, but Mitchell has speed. If you're going to make this throw, it's going to have to be a really accurate throw. And this time, Richardson kind of has to throw it awkwardly. There's some pressure, so he has no choice but to make a bit of an awkward throw. But watch this ball placement. I mean, that's exactly where you want it to be, where Mitchell was able to run after the catch. Again, yards after the catch aren't just the wide receiver stat, right? Part of it is the quarterback putting the receiver in position to succeed. That's what Richardson did there. To me, this is a high-level play by Richardson. It really is. And then, of course, this was on a, this got the ball to the 1 yard line. It was not ruled a touchdown. So then what do you do when you get the ball inside the 5? Well, you got Anthony Richardson, right? Let's use him in the running game. The way this play is designed to work is they're going to fake a handoff, and then Richardson is going to roll out towards the bottom of the screen. But watch what happens. When this play begins, I mean, the Jets are really all over this. I mean, to have a defender ready for this, because again, it's Anthony Richardson. You got to be ready for this kind of thing, right? You can't just assume that he's not going to run the ball. That would be crazy. He runs the ball all the time. The issue is that it's one thing being ready to tackle Anthony Richardson. It is another thing to then actually tackle him and watch what happens. I mean, yeah, I think Joe Flacco probably does not get into the end zone on this one. Anthony Richardson can. Hey, that's part of his value. You can sit here and say, oh, I want more than just a running back, whatever. The reality is, this is turning a second down and goal into a touchdown. If you have a guy who can do that, that's something that every team in the league would want. To start off the second half, this play happened, which it just can't happen. I mean, it definitely goes under the category of plays that can't happen. So it's a second down and 6. This has been an issue for Richardson his entire career, even going back to college. He takes the snap. Again, Jets, it's kind of almost a delayed pressure right here. I'm not sure if that was by design or just a couple of Jets players said, hey, we have a free shot. Let's take it. Either way, though, play's been going on for a bit. Richardson just doesn't really see the pressure in his face. If he does, he can put two hands on the ball. If he takes a sack here, I'm not going to blame him at all. Like, ideally, you'd like to see him get rid of the football, but, it was kind of a weird play. I get it. However, he doesn't notice the pressure. He doesn't protect the football. That results in it getting, knocked out. That leads to really good field position from the Jets, who they then score a touchdown as, the defense had to come onto the field, give up a play right away. And that just, it just can't happen, right? And these are the issues that keep happening with Richardson, which is part of why he got benched in the first place. And heading over here, you can definitely see the coaching staff still doesn't have ultimate faith in him. So the Colts are they're down a point with, right around 8 minutes left in the game. I think the logic here is, well, I'll just show you what happens. It's a 3rd down and 9. You see they're just going to hand the football off here and actually gain nothing, which, certainly is not great for them. I think the logic was they wanted to make it an easier field goal. And their thought was, well, if we can just gain 5 yards here, makes for an easier field goal. But they essentially just gave up on scoring a touchdown or converting this 3rd down and 9, I should say, which I think for most teams what you would do is you'd say, hey, let's run a concept design to get the ball down the field, but let's make sure there's a check down and tell our quarterback, hey, if you have to throw a check down, get there quickly. Again, they just don't really have the faith in Richardson to do that. I'm not even saying it's necessarily the wrong call, but that is what they decided to do here. Well, it's not the worst decision in the world. Let's just be honest. The Chiefs don't do this, right? That's just how it is. This play, of course, not really ideal either. Not really getting that handoff, situated. I don't know whose fault that was. But again, a bit of sloppiness here by the Colts with, Richardson with the ball in his hands. He did then have a really nice drive to give them a chance to tie the game up. So they're down 8 points here. The Jets decided not to go for 2 to make it a 9-point game. My thought was kind of, hey, with how good Richardson can run, maybe you want to make it a 9-point game because he'll probably be able to succeed on a 2-point attempt. Either way, though, first you got to get the touchdown. This is actually a really interesting play by the Colts. Josh Downs is lined up in the backfield. You see his route. It's a good route for running backs to make. This is Downs, who's a lot better of a receiver than most running backs are. Watch as you see when this play begins. I mean, he cuts right here. There's a window for sure. Again, it's not wide open. It really isn't. I mean, you want to be able to lead down so he can run after the catch. And that's going to be exactly what Richardson does. I mean, that's a great throw from him. Again, this is the good. And I think these 2 plays in a row kind of are the perfect thing that encapsulates Richardson because he goes and makes a throw like this. And then on the very next play, this would happen, which is this is the 2-point attempt, a real big play, chance to tie the game up. And, I don't know, who knows what happens, right? But tie the game up with 10 minutes left. It's man coverage, Mo Cox's route going from the offense's right to the offense's left. This is a route that can definitely work in these types of situations. When Richardson takes the snap, though, he looks over, and I mean, again, this is wide open. I mean, you don't get much more open than this on a 2-point attempt. There is a little bit of pressure, and that is going to cause Richardson to throw this one a bit off balance. But again, as you see, I mean, you got to make that a catchable ball. You got to give him a chance. If you underthrow it, at least that gives him a chance. Here, there was no chance, and it results in an incomplete pass, and they don't get the conversion. So, yeah, big miss there by Richardson. But then this remarkable final drive happens where so this is really the play of the drive, I think. It's Alec Pierce on a deep shot, and he's been really good on deep shots this year. He's going to kind of go for a double move. It's a zone coverage play, 2 safety deep, cover 2 zone. But when this play begins, partially due to the move, partially due to how much attention Downs gets, the safety's a little bit slow in getting over there. There is a window, but again, we've seen Richardson be inconsistent with the accuracy sometimes this season, right? He's going to have to make a throw here. But this one is beautiful. I mean, man, that is right on the money. For a second, you thought maybe Pierce could have been gone, but the big play, if anything, probably helps kill some clock. Obviously, you would have loved to just take the touchdown if he could, but given what we know now, watch Richardson the rest of the way. I mean, this play, really well-timed throw, gets it to around the 10-yard line. This play, where in motion, is able to just flip it, gain some yards, and finally on the third down and goal, it's his legs, which he can run, and he's a tough guy to tackle, getting the go-ahead touchdown. I mean, that's just special stuff. And again, this is why they made the move to go back to Richardson, right? It's because he's a young player, and you hope he can grow, and you get these flashes with him. And so even though you have the negatives, I think this is why you're going to see him start the rest of the year, and why you can still get a little excited if you're a Colts fan. So, yeah, I mean, that's what I think about all this. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from ya. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.